Yeah. I'd like to call this meeting, reorganization meeting of the Board of Education, called to order at 7:02, and stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge of Allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which stands one nation
under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next is swearing in of the elected officials, and myself and Mr. Motherway.
We go first.
I, Peter McNally, will support the Constitution of, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New York, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of Board of Education trustee according to the best of my ability.
I, Michael Motherway, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New York, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the Board of Education trustee according to the best of my ability.
We need to now reorganize the board
Yep.
at this time. So first reorganization would be for the president. Okay. Trustees, we have anybody who would like to nominate as president?
I'd like to nominate Pete Malley as president.
Second. Second. Any other nominations? Pete, now, all right, all in favor?
Aye.
Pete, congratulations. President. President, that you take over for vice president.
Okay, so can I have a nomination for vice president?
I'd like to nominate Joseph Kellis.
I'll second that. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstained?
Congratulations, Joe. Congratulations, Joe.
I, Peter McNally, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New York, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of Board of Education President according to the best of my abilities.
I, Joseph Gilgis, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New York, and will faithfully discharge the duties of the Board of Education Vice President, according to the best of my ability.
Claire, I just got a text that there's no audio.
I heard there was.
Oh, okay, so maybe,
Someone told me it sounds good.
okay.
Maybe you should speak louder about that. Maybe that's so funny.
Okay, so now we need to swear in Board of Education trustees. So we have to vote. Yeah, we had to swear.
I, Dominic Volpez, do solemnly swear I will support the Constitution of the United States, the Constitution of the State of New York, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the Board of Education as trustee, according to the best of my ability.
I will support the Constitution of, I, Daniel DiMatteo, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New York, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the Board of Education trustee, according to the best of my ability.
I, Narita Maya Moran, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New York, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of this worker according to the best of my ability.
Swear in Mr. Tomaso.
I, J.P. Tomaso, will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New York, and will faithfully discharge the duties of superintendent of schools according to the best of my ability.
All right, at this time, I want to make a motion to appoint district officers. Can I have a motion?
So,
Second?
second.
Second, okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Abstained? Opposed? Okay, motion approved. So now we have to swear in Mary Webb. Peter McNally, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New York, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of Deputy District Treasurer. All right, what's next?
Delegated to SEM.
Okay, that's it, right? Okay, so, okay, district standing committees, we had discussed this briefly. The Budget Advisory Committee is the entire board, the Prevention Task Force. Okay. Education Foundation, I can do that. You want to do that?
I'll do that.
You want to do that?
Yeah.
Okay. Policy,
I'm gonna do that.
you and I.
I'm gonna hang on, right?
Yeah. Super PTA,
I'd like to do that.
you want to do that? Okay. The audit committees, building bridges to understanding, Dom and Joe?
Yeah.
Okay. And number 12, Board of Education meeting, curriculum and standards.
I did that in the past, I'll stay with that.
You wanna stay with that? District-wide emergency response team.
I've done it in the past already.
I think you and I both did, right?
That'd be good, and I'll take myself off, because I was on that.
Okay.
You want it? No, I don't.
Okay.
Yeah, no, we've done.
That's great. That's gonna be Joe and Pete.
Yeah, I've done it in the past. Health and wellness.
I'll be on that.
Okay. Legislation and government relations.
I'll stay with that.
We'll stay with that.
Dan was with me on that.
Okay. And pupil personnel is the entire board. I'd like to, I can do it too. Okay, so I'll super PTA, Mike, I'll do it. Okay. Yep, we got everything, and for those, there's no. Yes. There is, all right, can I have a motion to approve items 11 and 12?
So moved.
So moved by Mr. Motherway, second.
Second.
Second by Mr. Volpez, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstained, motion granted. Okay. Number 13. So all these. Okay, so items 13 through 54. Okay. Approve the following appointments. Okay. Okay, so number 13, approve the following appointments. Asbestos designee, James Daly, attendance officer, Center Avenue School, Alice Calabrese, attendance officer, East Rockaway High School, Lyra Serrano, attendance officer, Rain Avenue School, Michelle Daniels, extra classroom activities, central treasurer, Janine Iadea, insurance consultant, Nicer, records access officer, Jacqueline Scrio, records management officer, Jacqueline Scrio, school physician, Richard Addis, Title IX officer, Vincent Healy, impartial hearing officer, okay. Medicaid compliance officer, Jacqueline Scrio, data protection officer, Dr. Ryan Fisk, Dignity Act coordinators, Janet Bonacorsi, Vincent Healy, Kalia Kelly, Robert Kennedy, the new principal at Rain Avenue, Dawn McCabe, Kristen Mednick, Dr. Alyssa Nunez, James O'Driscoll, Dr. Rosina Senna, Maureen Shutta, Richard Schaefer, Amy Callan Weitzman, and Anne Marie Shapiro. District-wide emergency response team liaisons, James B. Tomaso and James Dale. And number 14, approve the appointment. Oh, okay. Sorry. 13. Yeah. Right. Just read. I won't be okay, all right, everything is posted, so, this is items 13 through 54. Can I have a motion to approve items 13 through 54?
Before we approve, I just want to make sure everybody in the room's understanding this part. What happens, these are yearly appointments that go on with the Board of Education. Okay, we've had these on our agenda, so we know what they are. The public also knows what they are because they're posted out there for the public.
Right.
So instead of going out line by line, because it's a yearly thing, we do an action, all right, vote at this point in time. So that's what's happening. Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, so, can I have a motion to approve items 13 through 54? So moved by Mr. Di Matteo, second.
Second.
Second by Mr. Kilgus, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Motion approved. Okay, here we go. So now, regular agenda. Um, So, okay, public comments on agenda items. At this time, are there any public comments on the agenda items? Not regular, just on the agenda items. And there'll be a point for public comments later, but just on the agenda items. Okay. Number 56, approval of minutes. Okay, we have approval of the minutes from the June 14th, 2022 regular meeting and the June 30th, 2022 special meeting. Are there any questions from the board on the board minutes of either one of those meetings?
No.
No? Okay. Can I have a motion to approve the minutes from the June 14th, 2022 board meeting and the June 30th, 2022?
So moved.
So moved by Mr. Motherway, second.
Second.
Second by Mr. Volpus, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstained, motion approved. Okay. 57, acknowledgement of monthly reports and correspondence, receipt of monthly financial reports, May 2022, and correspondence. And I haven't seen it. Correspondence.
We haven't had any opportunity to review correspondence, everybody out there, so you know, because we did not have a president at the time. Our account works off of the president maintaining the account. So what we'll do after tonight, the new president will go in, he'll have claim, Mr. Ryan, I'm sure will give him the claim of the account and go through them, and we'll announce that next week.
Also, you should add public comments on agenda items and public comments at the end, to the BOE website or BOE email. We don't have a laptop tonight, so we'll respond next meeting if there are any.
Okay, 58, recommendations of the superintendent of schools.
Thank you. Okay, upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, accept the following resignations. Dr. Aisha MacArthur, elementary principal, effective August 5th, 2022. Nicole Road, music teacher, effective June 30th, 2022. Angela Bond, permanent substitute teacher, effective June 30th, 2022. And Denise Powell, security, effective September 2nd, 2022. Approve the following special education summer school appointments effective July 5th, 2022 through August 12th, 2022. That would be Thomas Moore, substitute special education teacher, and Kristen Mennick, social worker. Also approve the appointment of Caroline Savarazza for summer school CPSE meeting effective July 1, 2022 through August 31st, 2022. We will also approve the following special education summer school teacher aide appointments effective July 5th, 2022 through August 12th. That would be Karen Cooney, teacher aide, Kimberly Barbero, substitute teacher aide, Mary Beth Malone, substitute teacher aide, and Alicia Farrington, substitute teacher aide. With regret, we accept the resignation of Jennifer McKillop for the purpose of retirement for senior clerk typist position. And that would be effective September 30th. We will rescind the reappointment of Josette Bernberg from June 14th, 2022, agenda and minutes 6F, and further approval of the appointment of Josette Bernberg to the position of lead replacement English teacher effective September 1, 2022. I approve the 4-year probationary appointment of Sunsina Maya, the position of art teacher, which is a 10-year area art certification effective September 1, 2022. She will be granted tenure at the VA step entry level. Approve the 4-year probationary appointment of Noah Luft-Weisberg to the position of music teacher, 10-year area certification effective September 1, start at master's 30 step. Approve the part-time appointment of Sabrina Biaggi to the position of mathematics teacher, which is a .4 FTE, effective September 1, 2022 through June 30th, 22 at the prorated master's step 1. And further appoint her to the position per diem substitute teacher .6 FTE, effective September 1 through June 30th, 2023. Also approve part-time appointment of Capello to the position of elementary teacher, .8, effective September 1, 2022 through June 30th, 2023. Upon the recommendation of the superintendent, he approved the part-time appointment of Frank Catita to the position of world language teacher Italian, .8 FTE, effective September 1 through June 30th, 2023. Recommend the approval of the provisional appointment of Annabelle M. Kell to the position of 12-month clerk typist, effective July 25th, 2022, at the prorated step annual salary. I recommend the the leave of absence of Christine Del Valle from the monitor position, effective July 15th, 2022, for the 2022-23 school year. And I would recommend the approval of a provisional appointment of Christina Del Valle to the position of 12-month clerical typist, effective July 18th, 2022, at the prorated step 1 annual salary. I recommend the approval of the 2022-23 fall coaching appointments, more fully set forth by the 2022-23 fall coaching schedule at the stipend salary. I recommend the approval of a temporary assignment on the terms and conditions established by the East Rockaway Board of Education. Per diem substitute nurses effective July 12th, Kristen Clark and Patricia Picataro. Permanent substitute teachers effective September 1, Anthony Barbieri, Victoria Berman, Casey Curran, Taylor Walken, Marissa Defrin, Priscilla Prince, Rebecca Terenzi, Gabrielle Tercios Lamaco, and Brandon Tompkin. And also per diem substitute teachers effective September 1, Brenda Aram, Elizabeth Freeman, Kevin Fuller, Christopher Giudice, Richard Hess, Amy Layano, Jessica Risso, and Caroline Cifarenzi.
All right, can I have a motion to approve items 55 A through P?
So moved.
So moved by Mr. Kilgit, second.
Second.
Second by Mr. DiMatteo, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstained, motion approved. Okay, moving on, number 59, other items. Approve the day and time of regular Board of Education meeting dates as more fully set forth on attachment 2. Approve the 4-year probationary appointment of Sean Murray as the Assistant Superintendent for Curriculum Instruction effective July 18th, 2022, and authorize the Superintendent of Schools to execute the resulting employment agreement. Congratulations, Mr. Murray.
Congrats.
Approve the following employment agreements for the 2022-2023 school year and authorize the Superintendent of Schools to execute the agreements on behalf of the East Rockaway Board of Education. James Daly, Director of Facilities, Dr. Ryan Fisk, Director of Technology and Learning Analytics, Bettina Fazzi, Secretary to the Assistant Superintendent for Finance and Operations, Vincent Healy, Director of Pupil Personnel Services, Deborah Muller, District Treasurer, and 6, Mary Molino, Secretary to the Superintendent of Schools. D, adopt the East Rockaway Union Free School District district-wide safety and emergency management plan for the 2022-2023 school year. E, approve the 2022-2023 extension of food service contract with Aramark Educational Services, LLC for the 2022-23 school year and authorize the President of the Board of Education and Assistant Superintendent for Finance and Operations to execute the contract on behalf of the East Rockaway Board of Education. F, approve the following resolution. Whereas the district has recognized in Board of Education policy number 8334 that specific district employees will be issued a district credit card to assist with their job. Now, therefore, it is resolved that the job titles that are issued a district credit card will be determined by the Board of Education. Credit cards currently assigned are as follows: Superintendent of Schools, Maintenance Workers, Director of Facilities. Okay, G, approve the 2022-23 consultant contract between the East Rockaway School District and Rodney Brown to facilitate a community committee building bridges to understanding with a focus on diversity, equity, and inclusion for the period of July 1, 2022 through June 30th, 2023, and authorize the superintendent of schools to execute the contract on behalf of the East Rockaway Board of Education. H, approve the 2022-23 consultant contract between the East Rockaway School District and RCP Consultants to provide professional development services for the implementation of instructional practices in alignment with ESSA expectations for the period of July 1, 2022 through June 30th, 2023. And authorize the superintendent of schools to execute the contract on behalf of the East Rockaway Board of Education. I approve the 2022-23 consulting contract between East Rockaway School District and Balance Between to provide professional development workshops addressing the continued development of the use of thinking maps in the East Rockaway School District. J, approve the terms and conditions of the child nutrition proposal for development of bid specifications with HMV Consultants. K, approve the free and reduced lunch program income eligibility schedule for the 2022-2023 school year. L, approve the following resolution, whereas section 135.4C72A4 of the regulations of the Commissioner of Education provides for a Board of Education to permit pupils in grades no lower than 7th grade to compete on interscholastic athletic teams organized for senior high school pupils or senior high school pupils to compete on interscholastic athletic teams organized for pupils in the 7th and 8th grades. And whereas these pupils are to be allowed to compete at levels that are appropriate to their physical maturity, physical fitness, and sports skills in relationship to other pupils in accordance with the standards established by the Commissioner of Education. And whereas the State Education Department issues the competition standards for these pupils to compete under a program called the Athletic Placement Process. Therefore, be it resolved that the East Rockaway Union Free School District Board of Education shall permit pupils to compete after successfully completing the athletic placement process for the requested sport and level. M, approve the collaborative agreement, administration of epinephrine auto-injectors in East Rockaway schools for the 2022-2023 school year with Dr. Richard Addis in accordance with New York State Public Health Law Section 3000C, and authorize Gary Gregory in his capacity as the Director of Physical Education, Health, and Athletics to execute the agreement on behalf of the East Rockaway Board of Education. N, approve the following resolution. Okay. Now, therefore, be it resolved that pursuant to Education Law 20142, the Board of Education of the East Rockaway Union Free School District, Nassau County, New York, resolves as follows. Section 1. The following qualified voters East Rockaway Union Free School District, Nassau County, New York, are hereby appointed to constitute the Board of Registration of said school district to attend for the purpose of preparation of the registers for all school-related elections of said school district pursuant to Section 2014 of the Education Law, and to serve until the 30th day following the next annual meeting of the district. Those employees are Loretta Amaya Moran, Teresa Garcia, Barbara Winters, Trish Daly. Section 2, in addition to the district's continuous registration previously approved by the Board of Education conducted in the district clerk's office on days that school is in session during the hours of 8 a.m. and 3 p.m., special registration shall be conducted and shall take place at Rain Avenue Elementary School and Center Avenue Elementary School during kindergarten registration week between the hours of 8 a.m. and 3 p.m. and during the annual district election for the purpose of preparing a register of qualified voters of this district for said annual district election, at which time any person shall be entitled to have his or her name placed upon such register, provided that at such meeting of the Board of Registration, he or she is known or proven to the satisfaction of the Board of Registration to be then or thereafter entitled to vote at the annual district election for which such register is prepared. The district clerk will attend on said days with members of the Board of Registration. Section 3. Board of Registration shall be compensated for their duties at the minimum hourly wage rate set by the New York State Department of Labor per hour for each hour actually and necessarily spent upon duties as a member of the Board of Registration. Section 4, this resolution shall take effect immediately. Approve the following resolution. Be it resolved that in accordance with provisions of New York State Education Law 3012-C and subpart 30-2 of the regulations of the Commissioner of Education, Board of Education in the East Rockaway Union Free School District hereby certifies the following individuals as qualified leaders. And they're all listed there. The district hereby authorizes the above listed individuals to conduct and/or complete the annual professional performance reviews of classroom teachers within the district. P, the district hereby authorizes James D. Tomaso and Sean Murray to conduct and/or complete the annual professional performance reviews of building principals within the district. Q, approve the terms and conditions of the renewal agreement between the Incorporated Village of Lynbrook and the East Rockaway Union Free School District for fuel purchasing for the period of July 1st, 2022 through June 30th, 2023, and authorize the President of the Board of Education to execute the agreement on behalf of the East Rockaway Board of Education. R, approve the following resolution for Nassau County BOCES 2022-23 cooperative bid for various commodities and/or services. Whereas the Board of Education of the East Rockaway Union Free School District of New York State wishes to participate in cooperative bidding program for the 22-23 school year conducted by the Board of Cooperative Education by BOCES for the purchase of various commodities and/or services as authorized by and in accordance with the Education Law, General Municipal Law, Section 119-3. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the school district hereby appoints Nassau BOCES as its representative and agent in all matters related to the cooperative bidding program, including but limited to responsibility for the drafting of specifications, advertising for bids, accepting and opening bids, reporting the results to the school district and making recommendations therein, and be it further resolved that Nassau BOCES is hereby authorized to award bids on behalf of the school district to the bidder deemed to be the lowest responsible bidder, meeting the bid specifications and otherwise complying with Article 5A of the General Municipal Law of the State of New York related to public bids. Be it further resolved that the school district agrees to assume its equitable share of the administrative costs of the cooperative bidding program and all its obligations and responsibilities pursuant to any contract that may be awarded by Nassau BOCES on behalf of the school district. S, approve the following resolutions for Nassau County Schools Cooperative Self-Insurance Plan for Workers' Compensation. Resolved upon the recommendation of the Superintendent of Schools, Board of Education of the East Rockaway School District, maintain its membership in the Nassau County Schools Cooperative Insurance Plan for Workers' Compensation for the 2022-23 school year at a cost of $176,326. T, approve the following resolution. Resolved upon the recommendation of the Superintendent of Schools, Board of Education of the East Rockaway School District authorizes the renewal of the New York Schools Insurance Reciprocal and Travelers Commercial Crime Insurance policies effective July 1, 2022 through June 30th, 2023. Be it further resolved, the Board of Education authorizes the Assistant Superintendent for Finance and Operations to sign any required papers to effectuate such arrangement. U, approve the following resolution. Whereas the district has asked to enter into an intermunicipal cooperation agreement with Malvern Union Free School District, whereby during the 2022-2023 school year, Malvern would, for a monthly fee, transport East Rockaway residents to the non-public school they attend and to which Malvern already transports residents. And whereas such an agreement is in the best interest of both districts, and whereas District Council has disclosed that they also represent Malvern and have accordingly asked whether the district wishes them to represent it in connection with the drafting of such an agreement, and if so, to approve and execute a disclosure and consent agreement. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Board of Education hereby approves the disclosure and consent agreement enabling District Council to represent both districts in the drafting of the IMA with Malvern, and be it further resolved, the Board of Education hereby approves the intermunicipal cooperation agreement with Malvern and Union Free School District, and be it further resolved that the President of the Board of Education be and is hereby authorized to execute both the disclosure and consent agreement and the intermunicipal cooperation agreement on behalf of the district. the mutual emergency evacuation agreement between the East Rockaway Union Free School District and Lynbrook Union Free School District for an emergency school evacuation, and authorize the President of the Board of Education to execute the agreement on behalf of the East Rockaway Board of Education. W, approve the participation in cooperative bids for custodial and facilities items, automotive supplies, materials, parts and services, services provided by Suffolk BOCES, services and supplies provided through New York State Office of General Service Contracts, services and supplies provided through Suffolk County Contracts, services and supplies provided by New York State Preferred Source Program, and services and supplies provided through Omnia Partners. X, approve the vendors for the 22-23 school year for the services indicated on attachment 4 and authorize the President of the Board of Education to execute the resulting contract. Y, approve the resolution for tax shelter annuities, which are fully described on attachment 5. And Z, approve the following resolution. Be it resolved that the 2023 organizational meeting of the Board of Education will be held on July 11, 2023. AA, approve the health and welfare agreement. Thought I was off. Approve the health and welfare agreement between East Rockaway Union Free School District and Hempstead Union Free School District for the health and welfare services for the 21-22 school year, and authorize superintendent and the president of the Board of Education to execute the agreement on behalf of the East Rockaway Board of Education. Okay. EB, approve the tuition agreement with Devereaux Foundation for Special Education Services for one student, and authorize the president of the Board of Education to execute the tuition agreement on behalf of the East Rockaway Board of Education. CC, approve the special education services contract with Hewlett Woodmere School District for special education services for 2 parentally placed students, and authorize the president of the Board of Education to execute the contract on behalf of the East Rockaway Board of Education. DD, approve the consultant services contract between East Rockaway Union Free School District and CMG Ed Group LLC to work with ENL teachers and co-teachers to develop strategies to adapt instruction and support immigrant learners for 22-23 school year, and authorize the president of the Board of Education to execute the contract on behalf of the Board of Education. EE, approve the 22-23 consulting contract between the East Rockaway School District and Ideal Consulting to provide professional development services to prepare reading teachers for grade level data meetings for the period of July 1 through 2022 through June 30th, 2023, and authorize the president of the Board of Education to execute the contract on behalf of the Board of Education. FF, declare obsolete for the purpose of disposal and or recycling the items listed on the textbook removal form. GG, accept the following donations from the Basto family. Fender Squire electric guitar, estimated value of $300 to the high school music department. From the Center Avenue PTA, a curriculum enhancement grant in the amount of $80. From Jimmy Morez, thank you, Jimmy, a dual fit cycling bike for the fitness room valued at approximately $150. Okay, first of all, are there any questions from any board members on item 60, letters A through double G? Any questions? No. Okay, so at this time, can I have a motion to approve item 60, A through, oh, I'm sorry about that, items 59, A through double G?
So moved.
So moved by Mr. Motherway. Second.
Second.
Second by Mr. Volpus. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Motion approved. Okay, item 60, approval of CSE and CPSE recommendations. Any questions?
Yes, no
No
question.
questions. Okay, so can I have a motion to approve item 60?
So moved.
So moved by Mr. DiMatteo, second.
Second.
Second by Mr. Kilgus, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Motion approved. 61, budget transfers. Okay. Upon the recommendation of the superintendent, the Board of Education approves the following budget transfers transaction number 22-029, transaction number 22-030. Are there any questions from the board on item 61?
No question.
Okay, can I have a motion to approve item 61?
So moved.
So moved by Mr. Motherway, second.
Second.
Second by Mr. Volkes, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstained, motion approved. Okay, 62, policy matters. Normally, we have a policy report, but we haven't met, it's the summer. So when we do, we will have a policy report, but at this time, there is no policy subcommittee report. B, for readoption, reaffirmance. We will be looking at, the policy subcommittee will be looking at the 7 policies listed on tonight's agenda. And then for review, we have 14 policies for review, and we will be reviewing those policies. Okay. Item 63, reports, superintendent's report. Melissa?
I'd first like to thank the Board of Education for their leadership in taking on new roles to support our community and for their participation in our new committees and also for their involvement is much appreciated and is critical to the betterment of our school community, so thank you. I'm also happy to announce that Mr. Vincent Healy, sitting next to me, Director of People Personnel Services, will be joining the executive team at our meetings. I'd like to say a few words about graduation and the end of the year ceremonies. As usual, we had a successful and busy end of the school year. It was a tremendous feeling seeing the smiles and sheer joy on the faces of our families and students during graduation and during the numerous award ceremonies and moving up events. A special thank you to our principals, Mr. Schaefer, Ms. Kelly, and Dr. MacArthur, as well as Dr. Kraus and Ms. Taranova for their efforts in making these memorable events that we will soon not forget. Without their efforts, these ceremonies would not be possible. I'd like to also thank our amazing teacher staff, clerical staff, and facilities for their hard work. Many thanks to our outside organizations and sponsors for their generous contributions to the numerous scholarships that were awarded to our students. They believed in us and, more importantly, invested in our greatest assets, our students. And this year we had the pleasure of having our graduation on a new facility outside on the athletic field, and that was no easy undertaking. So I'd like to thank Mr. Daly for that and our custodial staff for that, because it was a tremendous night, and I know it wasn't an easy task, so thank you. We are excited to announce that our elementary summer climb program has begun and is off to an outstanding start. The program offers literacy, STEM, and art classes for students entering grades 1 through 6. Students will also receive small group literacy instruction to further bolster their skills. The middle school and high school physical fitness sessions were also met with great success. Students in grades 7 through 12 are actively engaging in physical training, which includes agility workouts, weight training, and yoga. Another feature of our summer program is the Her Story workshop session, which is a writing program where our students express who they are. And this is also in full swing and well participated in. In total, we have 222 students registered for our 10 programs. I think that's a great accomplishment. Thank you to Mr. Politi and Ms. Healy for their planning and coordination efforts they put into making this a successful program, and of course to our teachers who stepped up to work in the summer. The East Rockaway High School Summer School program began at Rain Avenue School. This year, the summer program offered Algebra 1, Geometry, Geometry Foundations, U.S. History, Global History, English 9 and 10, and English 11 and 12. Our program is currently working towards earning their course credits. In addition, we are offering Regents review sessions to help our students earn a Regents diploma. Our ESY, or Extended Summer Year Program, began at Rain Avenue Elementary School during the first week of July. Students who demonstrate significant progression over the school breaks throughout the year are invited to participate in this program, which focuses on reinforcing skills necessary to progress to the next grade level. This year's program is larger than usual and includes students at both the elementary and secondary level. The program runs 6 weeks each summer and will conclude on August 12th. Building Bridges to Understanding. Our first meeting was very exciting with our dynamic speaker, Mr. Rodney Brown. The first meeting of Building Bridges Committee, which was facilitated by Mr. Brown, was held on Monday, June 27th. and was well attended by stakeholders, including community members, staff, teachers, administrators, parents, Board of Education members, and students. I'm extremely proud of the community coming together for the purpose of advancing the conversation and elevating our universal awareness to ensure all students, staff, and families in the East Rockaway community feel a sense of belonging. The outpouring of support for this committee is very much appreciated. There will be a series of voluntary virtual meetings to assist Mr. Brown in his plan for the committee, which our next meeting will be on October 24th, 2022. Just a construction update. I don't know if you've been in the high school, but there's a number of projects going on. The projects are in full swing. Ms. Scrio, Mr. Daly are overseeing the HVAC replacement projects, as well as numerous other projects, including remodeling the fax classroom and art room, the weight room, tech classroom projects. Things are running on schedule and the workers are making progress. In addition, Mr. Daly and Dr. Fisk are finalizing the fiber optic project for the athletic complex. Once completed, internet access within our press box will provide connectivity to our coaches and athletes who are using the field. We are looking forward to this wonderful enhancement. And here with us tonight, I'd like to just read a short bio of our new assistant superintendent, Mr. Sean Murray, and thankfully his family's here. We appreciate them coming out to the meeting. Mr. Murray began his career in education as an elementary classroom teacher. While he spent the majority of his time in the classroom as a fifth grade teacher, he also taught kindergarten, first, and third grade. Mr. Murray's transition out of the classroom began when he became an assistant principal of Lakeside Elementary School in Merritt. From there, Mr. Murray joined the Long Beach School District, where he served as principal of the East Elementary School and then director of elementary curriculum, instruction, and assessment. He brings a wealth of elementary experience to the district. Most recently, Mr. Murray served as a principal of the West Hempstead Middle School, where he oversees shifts to the Writers' Workshop, model and English classrooms, and an Algebra for All curriculum designed for 8th grade. I am confident that Mr. Murray will bring with him a passion for best instructional practices that engage both teachers and students and the community in the learning process. I know he's excited to roll up his sleeves, and get ready to work for the betterment of our community. How about a warm welcome for Mr. Murray? And last but not least, we began the search process to replace the Rain Avenue principal. We are excited about the number of qualified candidates who want to join our East Rockaway family. It is our goal to have our new principal in place before the start of the school year to ease the transition for parents and students. And that's the end of the superintendent.
Right. Thank you, Mr. DiTomaso. Okay, moving on. 64, item 64, good and welfare. A, congratulations to Brianna Ostrander and family on the arrival of her daughter, Brooke Lively Ostrander, on June 25th, 2022. And B, congratulations to Betty Freeman and family on the arrival of her granddaughter, Margot Amelia, on June 26th, 2022. Okay, item 65, public comments. Okay, we have public comments on it. Is there anyone with public comments? Anyone? Okay. Okay, so item 66, board member comments? Who wants to start?
First off, congratulations, Mr. Murray. I think you're going to be a great addition to our district and looking forward to all the things you're going to do for us. Welcome, Mike, to the team. Congratulations. Thank you for all the work with you as well. And Pete, great job. A lot of reading. You cannot miss a meeting now. And also, Mr. Healy, welcome to the team as well. Yeah. A lot of great stuff tonight. A lot of new faces and different positions. And all good stuff. I think we're moving in the right direction.
Shall I jump in?
Sure.
I always like to add with a quote, so this is a good one. Meaningful silence is better than meaningless words. It's a quote by Pythagoras. It's time to speak less and do more. And I really like the direction we're going in and working together as a team, as a community, and focusing primarily always on the children of our district. Makes me very proud to be a part of this board. Congratulations, El Presidente and Mr. Vice President. Look forward to working with you, Mr. Motherway. And Vinny is ready to have you up here. And as Joe said, he said everything pretty well. So I second everything he said. And I just want to welcome Sean as well. I feel like it's almost a, what is it, Voltron, when you get all the right parts and put everything together. And after a certain amount of time, it'll run like a well-oiled machine. And that's what we're excited for. So thank you all very much.
Okay, I want to congratulate Mr. DiTomaso, being named superintendent, and Mr. Murray, being named assistant superintendent, and Mr. Healy. I want to congratulate Pete for being named president, and Joe for being named vice president. And then I would especially like to thank, I was named to Kristen O'Hagan for her service and her guidance for me in my candidacy. And that's it. Thank you guys. I look forward to working with you all and making our mark this year.
So the best is always going toward the end, because I ditto a lot of everything everybody else said tonight. I want to welcome back Tina Fozzi. Tina, it's great to see you come back tonight, help us out, get reorganized and rejuvenated as we move forward. And certainly been a great resource for Neary as she has taken over the helm this last year. So thank you, Neary, for bringing what you bring to the board. And it is so true what you said, Dan, about there's a new vibrance, and the new vibrance meaning that new faces that are around on the board, inside, even out in the public here tonight. And I'd love to have that because they always bring with them great belief that there's another level, there's something else to be had, something else to be done, something is in a little different sling or a different phase, We're in that phase, we're coming off the phase of COVID, we're coming off the phase of, just managing schools. We want to rebuild, we want to build stronger, we want to move forward with the greater resources that we have, and that the public in East Rockaway, our community members have afforded to us by passing the budgets. So, I know we have talked to the board, and we're going to talk even more further, though, about the fact of using, community resources and making greater strides in East Rockaway. So thank you, Mr. DiTomaso, for taking the helm and leading this as our new superintendent. Mr. Healy, it's great to have you aboard, all right? And also, Sean, great to have you. And I have to tell you, and I need to say this because I said this when we interviewed you, is that I'm so impressed with what Sean gives back to the community. He's really a community guy, and so many things that he's involved with. I said to him, I said, how do you find time to do all of this? And it's a great thing, when somebody is like that, because one thing, they put kids first, and that's what it's all about. So welcome aboard also. Okay. Thank you.
Right. A lot of times when we speak at meetings or executive sessions, we talk about character and someone's character. And I think we hit a grand slam tonight. Mr. DiTomaso, it is such a pleasure you being here and knowing you for a long time and your character. Mr. Murray, I've had the pleasure of knowing your family for a few years now. It's the same thing, that high character, awesome family. And we were so thrilled to have you, we're so happy to have you, and welcome aboard and continuing on that. Mr. Healy, you know how I feel about you. Mr. Healy epitomizes the empathetic culture that we want here in East Rockaway. You will not find a kinder person in East Rockaway, I don't think. And to have him here with us here as part of this cabinet or whatever you call it, it's a win for us. So thank you, Stephen. And continuing on that some other way, I've known Mike a long time. We worked together, and we knew that Kristen wasn't going to run again. We were shocked at first, and then we said, "Oh, and it was like it came to us right away. And I'm so glad it worked out. And I think hopefully tonight is first night of a great season. So thank you.
That's it.
All right, so that's it, right? All right, so let's see. Motion to adjourn this meeting at 7:55. So moved by Mr. Kilgis, second.
Second.
Second by Mr. DiMatteo. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain, motion approved. All right, here we go.